Think of being in a room filled with people ready to engage, ready to be social. You want to be social, you want to engage, but there's something stopping you, something like a social awkwardness. We mingle in masses, we strike up conversations. Some people are easy to engage in conversations, even laugh. On the other hand, there are some people in the same mass that are forcing the communication. They're trying with all of their might. The effort to smile, engage, to do this with depression is often a daunting task. It stems from it stems farther than communication. I have a sister that suffers from a debilitating form of depression. This was a communication barrier that I had to overcome. I had to learn exactly what type of disability that she had. In addition to learning her, I found out more about myself as well as found out about the family history with the depression that we have. Today, I will inform you on depression, the role that environmental factors play in it, family history, and what some of the characteristics are. Depression has many factors that contribute to how an individual will be able to cope with it. Let's see how environmental factors play a role in depression. Depression is complex. It involves more than one form of depression. Depression is chronic and often is linked to impairments throughout life. In an article named Chronic and Proximate Depression Amongst Mothers, the family is one avenue through which depression can manifest itself. The depressed individual may have difficulties maintaining a healthy interpersonal relationship. Like previously stated, depression is chronic and often linked to impairments throughout life. This can include, but is not limited to, social skills, self esteem, possibly even engaging in risky behavior. We now know how some environmental factors can affect children. Now, let's see how the family history can play a role. There are more in depth factors, such as family history, that can play a role in how one develops and copes with depression. From a personal perspective, my sister and I grew up in a household with a mother that was depressed. From readings, it has been established that there is a direct correlation between a mother and the child. In A. Taper's article, From Managing and Preventing Depression in Adolescents, she states that adolescent offspring of parents that have a history of depression are 4 times more likely to have depression versus the adolescents of parents that do not have any type of psychiatric history. Now we are beginning to see the correlation between environmental and family factors on depression. Let's examine what some of the characteristics of depression are. Major depressive disorder is common. Persons with diagnosis share a proportion of symptoms, but the combination of symptoms can vary from person to person. Criteria for depression in adolescents are the same for adults. Some of these can be the inability to get out of bed, being depressed for over half of the day, in addition to loss of interest in pleasure-seeking activities, irritability, decreased energy, and a change in appetite. Collectively, depression is the illness, but how it manifests within the person can differ drastically from the next. Depression can affect people in various ways, such as mood, behavior, sleep, and cognitive. In review, you now have a more in-depth view of what roles environmental, family, history have on depression. We also covered what some of the signs and symptoms are and what they look like. You are now able to be more easily or now easily identify what some of the characteristics and behavior is of the individuals that have depression. I often think of that room filled with people, people ready to engage in conversation. I think of how difficult it is sometimes to be able to engage myself. This is the case for many other individuals too. Depression takes on many appearances. Next time you see an individual who you want to talk to who seems standoffish, just try to engage a little bit more. It may just bring them out of their shell.